We spent our days driving, traveling around, visiting people, searching out those that they didn't know who they were or where they were. We were assigned 25 families to home teach, and we usually saw 50 or more every month. Because they were so spread out, and there were very few capable or active priesthood members to do the home teaching and visiting teaching, we took that on a lot to try and relieve the branch president, who's 75 years old himself. He lived 40 miles from the church and still came down several times a week. The furthest members lived more than 50 miles away. And so a lot of people didn't come to church because gasoline cost was a major factor. Travel was difficult for them, and so they didn't stay active a lot of times.
We started, expanded on a program that had already started called Family Home Afternoon. In different areas of the branch, in the afternoon, we'd get together in a member's home or in the church, and invite people from that area to come and join us. Less actives, recent converts, strong members, and we'd get together mostly for the purpose of kind of providing a halfway house back to activity for people that weren't active or new members. And we had one in Hayesville, we had one in Robbinsville, we had one in Culberson, and one in Murphy. And some of these were once a month, and some were once a week. And there was two families in Hayesville that did this, and that was quite productive in bringing people together, helping them feel comfortable in each other's presence, getting into each other's homes, and helping fellowship new members.
And successfully, we feel, because they have continued since we left. One was going when we came. At one time we had 5, and then it dropped to 4, but they are still continuing. So we feel like that was a good effort, that people learned to reach out to others and invite them in and befriend them. So that was a good thing. And we had it in the afternoons because people live so spread out in the mountains. It is pitch darkness, and people don't like to go out very much after dark. It's hard to see, and there's a lot of wildlife out. And so we would do it in the afternoon so they could be home before dark.
There was a set of missionaries in our branch, and they had bikes, but it wasn't a very good bike area. So we were transportation a lot of times for these missionaries, and we, as a result, we got to teach with them and be members present in some of their discussions.
We were blessed to be part of 5 baptisms while we were there, and that was a wonderful thing that we also got to teach and study and learn from Preach My Gospel and incorporate the things that the young missionaries were learning too. We took part in district meeting every week. We'd always feed our district after district meeting. We went to zone meetings and mission meetings and took part the same as the young sisters and elders, and it was a very great growth and learning experience for us.
One thing that worked to our benefit was that we made a lot of banana bread, and we always had a loaf of banana bread in our hand when we knocked on an unfamiliar door. One that that's a door approach that seemed to be very effective, at least to make
Nobody
friends.
slammed a door in our face, ever. And we had one fellow who was inactive and has since had his name removed, but has become a very good friend. First time we saw him, he saw us carrying this in our hand as we came to his door. He came out of the house and met us in the driveway and said, "I know who you are, and I don't want to talk about the church, but I'll take your bread." And every time we visited after that, we took him banana bread, and we became very good friends. And we've been back to see him, and I feel like, it's good thing to make friends in a friendship way, because you never know when that will be a bridge to something further for them to listen to the
It
gospel.
needed to be important that friendship wasn't tied to whether or not they were accepting our message.
Exactly.
That we were friends anyway, you know. And
P.S. to that, we have family members who have decided not to be active in the church anymore. But that effort with our non-member or wandering friends in the mission field, and helping them to learn that we would love them anyway, was a good teaching tool for us with our family members, so that they would learn to know that we love them no matter what anyway, whether they're active or not. Even though we wish they were, we don't beat them over the head with that. It's important to love people. The biggest thing for me was the overwhelming love that grew in my heart for all kinds of people that we met in our mission, that I might not have felt love for, maybe tolerance previously. But my heart just burst its bounds as a result of being a missionary.
well, we had a lot of flexibility, and so we're grown up, you know, and we're used to being our own boss, and so, but we did have a kind of a routine. We didn't necessarily get up right on. I did. She would stay in a little later, but
we did for a long time, and then I said, I got to sleep some more.
There's a river trail. I did like 600 miles on that river trail while we were there, and we made sure that we were reading the scriptures, and I read the Book of Mormon 3 times, and all the other standard works once, and I think she did likewise. So we had a study tradition, and
we would study and preach my gospel. And as we had assignments from our district leader for what the mission wanted us to study for that week or month, we would study that in our scriptures and preach my gospel. We took turns teaching in district meeting, and we'd prepare for that. Cook for people, have people into our home there and have meals with them. But true to Southern tradition, we were invited so much as well that it was difficult not to gain a lot of weight because there's a lot of generosity in a Southern heart, and they like to feed you, and they feed you well, and a great deal of it is deep fried with extra butter, and it tastes great, and then you have to go home and really work it off. But yes, we studied, we exercised, we went to festivals, our president allowed us to choose if we wanted to go to movies or not. We had a television. It was our choice. He told us that we should go to the temple every time the branch had a temple outing, which was monthly. And that was a great blessing for us. Not all presidents choose to do that. We did not have a temple within our mission boundaries. The closest one for us was Atlanta, and so we went to the Atlanta temple. And that was a wonderful experience too. Dating, we didn't think about that for a while, and then I just started to feel kind of shriveled up, because we're used to a Friday night date, have been for many, many years. And so my husband brought it up to our mission president when we were in mission interviews. And he said, oh, absolutely, you can have a date. Have 2 a week, which was a rare thing. We could have enough time to do that. But we did pretty much have once a week. And we might go to dinner. We might go to a movie that we felt was okay. Sometimes we would go to what was called the folk school, the John C. Campbell Folk School, which had Friday night artists come and perform a lot of bluegrass music, a lot of mountain folk music, dances, and it was just a wonderful time that you could mix with people you wouldn't normally be involved with, and it was a great way to have a very friendly date with some of the members even.
Some of the members had resources. Like one of them had a boat dock and a pontoon boat, and there's a couple of times that they took us across the lake and out to dinner, and I'd think, we're on a mission? But they were one of the families that were really active in bringing people into their home and feeding them and having a lesson, and so it was a worthy recreation, I think. It was fun.
Yes, it depends on the president what couples are allowed to do within the mission, but pretty much we had 2 presidents, and pretty much they were of the opinion that you're adults and you follow the Spirit, and these are the rules that the young sisters and elders have, and you know that those things will benefit you too, so use your good judgment.
We always wore our name tags.
Always.
Even when we were recreating.
Always. Just like the young ones. Always wore tags.
We did that.
And that'd be like cutting off your nose to go out without your tag. That was the hardest thing for me when we got home, was to have to take off my tag. That was just dreadful. I still miss it.